as specifically as possible, what exactly should we eat? Name it as direct, as specific as you can, in 3 minutes or 2 minutes, what exactly for the next year, for people who want to be healthy, have energy, lose weight, feel great, what specifically, more specifically than just whole food plant-based diet, what specifically are you recommending that people eat to be full, satisfied, and healthy?
So it would be a whole plant food SOS-free diet made up of fruits, vegetables, grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds, and that's it. I have a really simple way for people to know if they look at any product, should they have it or not. If they get very quiet and go inside themselves and they ask themselves, do I really, really, really want whatever it is? And the answer is truly yes, you know. You can't have it. You get nothing.
Okay, interaction time again. What is probably the nastiest, vilest substance you can think of that you would not want to put your hand in? Can I hear some words, huh? Vomit. Vomit, okay, yeah, that's pretty gross. But something a little worse than that. Poop, right? A fresh cow patty. And then maybe some really nasty dirt, right? So what if I scooped up half of a fresh cow patty and then went out and got some dirt and mixed it all up and took a pinto bean and stuck it down in there? What would happen? I would get this pristine plant that was perfect. That's how powerful beans are. So whatever you eat, make sure legumes are a regular part of your diet because they are incredibly powerful and healthful organisms to eat. And they impart that to your body when you eat them. So include legumes in your diet at least 3 to 4 times a week, whole grains, fresh green leafy vegetables, and color. You know what? It's like God likes color. He doesn't want you living in a neighborhood with all one color people. He doesn't want you eating a plate that has only one color. I tell people, the only white things at your dinner table should be the tablecloth and the people eating the food. Everything else needs to have some color.
Okay, our 4 major food groups are fruit, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. And then we use a pyramid formation, so you can see that the stuff at the top, you eat a lot less of than the stuff at the bottom. But those are the foundational foods, using starchy foods as the calorie density part of the plate, and then lots of fruits and vegetables. And you made the comment about people being hungry when they try to live on salads and fruit. So you really, to make this work, you need to eat squashes and potatoes and beets and your legumes and whole grains to make this work. So that's what my meals look like every day.
Pam, your 4 groups left out nuts and seeds. Do you let people eat nuts and seeds?
Yeah, that's further up in the pyramid, and one of the ways that we have people eat nuts and seeds is when they're part of dishes, not a every day have some, but yeah, they can use them when they're part of dishes that they're making, or they come on foods that they order in restaurants and that sort of thing. So we don't restrict them entirely.
Well, just to make it clear, the Seventh-day Adventist studies, as well as corroborative evidence from every other study looking at the issue, showed that as you divided nuts and seeds into 5 different quintiles, the lowest quintile of nut and seed consumption had a approximately 40% increased risk of cardiovascular death and about a 29% increase in all-cause mortality compared to the highest quintile of nut and seed consumption, which was consuming about 1.5 ounces a day. So when they compared people eating about a half of an ounce or less, or 1/3 of an ounce or less on the average, compared to people eating over 1 ounce a day, it was pretty remarkable differences in longevity for people excluding fat from their diets so aggressively. And of course, the type of fat we're talking about is that nuts and seeds don't just prevent against cardiovascular arrhythmia, but they also protect against powerfully anti-cancer effects as well. Just thought I'd throw that in. So the dietary style I design includes advising people to have a salad at least once a day, and then instead of using an oil-based dressing on the salad, to use a dressing made from some nuts and seeds in place of oil. Of course, we're not snacking on nuts and seeds. We don't want to have an unlimited amount of them because we want people to be aware of their overall caloric need and not exceeding their caloric needs. We want them to have at least one serving a day of beans, one serving a day of salad, and maybe a vegetable bean soup. That's whereas I want to make the lunch the most important meal of the day, and I want people to memorize the lunch. They could modify their dinner and breakfast and make and change it around. For breakfast, they can have juice or fruit or something, or they can have a smoothie, or they can have some steel-cut oats or quinoa, or they can have a squash soup, or whatever it is they're having. And dinner could be modified to something else, and it could be a tomato sauce, or it could be a vegetable wok, or it could be a lot of different things. But the lunch, I want the lunch to be pretty consistent so I know people are getting these basic, powerfully anti-cancer foods in. So I want them to have a big salad every day for the lunch, for what they chew really well, with some raw cruciferous on top, with a dressing made from nuts and seeds, not oil, because that facilitates the absorption of the anti-cancer compounds, even as much as 20 to 50-fold increased absorption of carotenoids and other fat-soluble nutrients in the food when you compare it to eating a salad with no fat, that meal with no fat in it. And then they have a bowl of vegetable bean soup, a hearty serving of some kind of, because beans are very, very longevity protective and on a scale of carbohydrate hierarchy, of which has the most anti-cancer longevity promoting effects, beans seem to have the most documented effects at lowering rates of cancer and extending human life, and they have the most resistant starch, have the most fiber, have the most phytochemicals, have the most nutrient density. So we want people to get a good portion of at least once a day of that bean serving of a chili or a bean dish or a soup or a stew or something with their salad and a piece of fruit for dessert. So more flexible with breakfast and dinner. I want people to, as Alan said, to have that extended period of fasting at night where they eat an earlier and a lighter dinner, so they have that at least the 14 hours in, and really stress the fact we don't want people to go to sleep on a full stomach. We want them to go to sleep on an empty stomach, so we want them to eat dinner early enough so they digest before they go to bed at night, or eat a light enough dinner. If they can't eat early, then make dinner lighter so you still don't go to sleep with a lot of food and heavy to digest food in your stomach. You eat your lunch as your main meal of the day.